Well, good morning, my friends. We are here for a morning devotion, and it is December 7th. We're using Dr. Walter Brueggemann's Celebrating Abundance book for our Advent devotion. Today's is called The New Song, and he uses Isaiah 42, verses 10 and 11 as a reference. Sing to the Lord a new song, his praise from the end of the earth. Let the sea roar and all that fills it, the coastlands and their inhabitants. Let the desert and its towns lift up their voice, the villages that cater inhabitants. Let the inhabitants of Selah sing for joy. Let them shout from the top of the mountains. Can you imagine writing this poem and singing this song in exile? Can you imagine defying the empire by stretching out this daring alternative? Can you dare to sing this song under the very nose of Babylonian soldiers about a new reality that counters the empire? Think of it. New reality conjured in worship by the choir, inviting to new courage, new faith, new energy, new obedience, and new joy. You see, this song is as subversive as is the new reality. The new song is never describes the world the way that it is now. The new song imagines how the world will be in God's good time to come. The new song is a refusal to accept the present world as it is, a refusal to believe that it is right or that the present will last. The church is always at its most daring and risky and dangerous and free when it sings a new song, because when it sings that the power of the gospel will not let the world finally stay as it is. We are not unlike those ancient exiles, scattered where they do not have much impact, sensing that the world is resistant to change, aware that the policies and practices all around us are aimed at death. We are close to despair in our weakness and futility. About many things it appears that not much can be done, when this community of faith can do very little. However, it did not resign itself to playing it safe. Instead, it sang new songs, counter songs that refuse to let the promise of the gospel sink into the landscape of the empire. The new song is a protest. The new song is also a bold assertion, innocently declaring that the God of the gospel has plans and promises and a will to reorder the world, to bring wholeness, the health to the blind, the poor, the needy, and the nation so fearful, and to the entire creation now so under killing assault. The song asserts God's future against our present tense. It's no wonder, once the singing begins, that all creation sings and dances and claps with us. The whole of creation sings a new song about God's new world. Heaven and nature sing, and earth repeats the loud amen. We sing the song, even in exile, that we live the new reality. The Babylonians cannot stop us, because the song is true and more powerful than the tearfulness of the world. The exiles are indeed on their way, rejoicing. And so just to give you some context of what he's talking about with exile and the Babylonians, this is Isaiah 42, which is written in the time of when the Israelites, the Hebrew people, were exiled from Jerusalem and from Israel. They were in Syria and other places in Babylon. And so in the context of that, they are singing this new song unto the Lord, singing about joy and shouting it from the mountaintops, lifting up their voice on the coastlands, and all the inhabitants are celebrating in this midst of exile, when life is different, when life is hard. And he goes on to say that our churches are best when we understand that the reality we live in now is not the permanent reality. We sing new songs of glory and joy for what is to come. For we know that church can impact the world. We know that God has impacted the world. We know that Jesus has impacted the world. And that should be our new song. When we are in exile, in the wilderness, if you want to use that language, those are times when we should be rejoicing, for we know that God is with us. And so he ends in this prayer. In this Advent season, teach us the new song, which heralds the new world that is coming, the new reality that has taken shape before our eyes. May we rejoice in its truth and power, enjoying all creation in its loud amen.